let's start with you being in the adult industry, if you want.
Yes.
So how did you get started with that?
So it starts a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away?
Yeah. I gained and then lost a lot of weight, and that messed up the shape of my boobs.
Okay.
So I decided to get a boob job. But then after the boob job, I was like, they look weird.
Okay.
I was like, something's wrong. They're terrible. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Zeus was like, look, we'll post you on a Reddit. It wasn't a topless one even. It was just like a low-cut shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Gone Mild or something.
Yeah. Well, cleavage is lovely.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I posted there and I got banned for advertising. And I was like, my Reddit just links to my Instagram where I post pictures of my like outfit of the day.
Yeah.
I wasn't into anything at that time. And they were like, no, we know you're like
an adult model.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not, but now I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
And now I'm banned from a lot more subreddits, actually.
I don't even know how Reddit works. Like, I've gone on it to look at like discussion topics, but like someone needs to do if somebody can explain how Reddit works to me, or I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, so you did the Reddit, and then so their treatment of you is what kind of?
I was like,
I'm fine. I'm gonna do what you.
Yeah.
What you're
if you think
me.
It's so shitty, like I don't think it is. I was supportive of sex workers before.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know what? I have these new boobs now, so before I got banned, the response on the subreddit was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, people definitely like the new boobs. So I'll start posting things. And I started on Reddit and then expanded out from there to just doing all sorts of stuff. And my husband and I were also swingers for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'll get into that.
So that also sort of led into finding additional partners and like filming with them and stuff.
Okay. So when you were like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start doing research for companies?
Nope. I just dove right in.
Okay.
If I could go back, I would actually start slower and like ramp up into different stuff at a different pace.
So like start with solo and then.
Yeah. Because I sort of just dove right into partnered content.
Let's go.
Yeah. Right off the bat. And I still had a regular job at the time, but I didn't want to be a faceless creator. So there were a few people at my office who were like, did you know there's porn of you on the internet? And I was like, I put it there. Shut up.
It'd be funny if you were like, no! When did that happen?
Right? Like,
I have no idea.
How do people get these high quality videos?
Yeah. Must have been my other personality. I guess she's really into that.
She's a show off.
Yeah. So, because I first saw you when you were in Score, which I'm sure, was that your first like professional shoot that you did?
Yes.
Okay. So did they reach out to you via like from Reddit or Instagram, or did you reach out to them, or how did you get in touch with them?
I think I ended up reaching out to them because Zeus is like a big fan of Scoreland. So he was like, I bet they would take you.
Kindred spirits?
Yes.
So I was hoping to meet him,
Oh.
But no,
sorry,
it's all right.
I didn't bring him.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
And,
so
he and I reached out and were like, hey, would you like to work with me? And after a little while, they eventually replied, and I did several shoots with them, solo and partnered.
Yeah. So, and that was when?
During the height of the pandemic. It was crazy. That was actually why we were road tripping initially, because we didn't want to fly. And the set was just two people. It was the director / cameraman and the makeup artist.
Yeah.
That was it.
It was pretty pared down.
Yes.
So, which, I mean, and they've done more elaborate shoots, in the past. I don't know if you've seen. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time. So, but they've done like on location shoots in the Bahamas and
there's
Europe,
all kinds of stuff.
All stuff. So, so what was your experience like when you shot with them for your did you do a solo scene first, or did you did a boy girl scene?
Yeah.
First? Okay. So were you nervous going into that?
A little bit, because it was my first one, but I'd already shot with other people that I'd met, like
separate, like outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So getting my makeup and everything done and having them like choose a wardrobe for me was kind of weird. And then obviously normally I didn't have a director at the time. So suddenly getting instructions that were like, all right, now turn around and whatever was weird. But I really get along with Carlos, the director. So it was pretty good partnership, I feel like.
Nice. Did he shoot all your scenes?
Yeah,
with
it
them?
was him
Okay.
every time.
Okay. And like, did you notice that there was a very big difference between having sex on camera versus not on camera? Or because you had already been doing it, it was because you can do more realistic sex for content.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter, like, but with like professional, it seems like, okay, we need to see as much insertion and we need to see like angles and stuff like that.
I kind of just forget the camera's there a lot of the time. So I don't really think about it as much. Although I know that I feel more self-conscious if I make a weird face, but I kind of just let it happen anyway.
Okay. Do you watch your stuff when you're done, or is it like
only if I'm editing it?
Okay, but
So
you're not
my professional stuff, I've only seen like clips.
Okay.
I've never really like sat down and watched it and been like, oh no, I made a mistake there.
Yeah. Well, because I've met people that they actually like they get sexually aroused watching themselves perform, which is
I do not experience that.
Yeah. Which I got. And there's got to be a word for that, some sort of thing. But was it because for instance, Score, like going to the makeup thing, they put a lot of makeup on. Usually,
yeah.
Like it's.
I feel like I look like a different person.
That's what I'm saying. So was that something when they did that? Because I mean, what you're wearing now is that kind of more like what you.
This is what I usually wear.
Yeah. Well, and sorry, I don't mean to, but was to see yourself in that much makeup? Was it just kind of like, oh, that's weird? In terms of,
if I go back and look at the pictures now, I'm just like, what did they even do to my face?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like me really. Mm-hmm. But I've had other smaller creators that I've worked with be like, can you do your makeup like this? And I'm like, no, I cannot, because I'm not a professional makeup artist and I don't have a third person perspective on my own face.
Yeah.
But I do like how it looks. Like it's very glamorous and fancy, like red carpet kind of almost makeup.
Yeah. They're almost like Hollywood style.
Yeah, it takes forever to do it. It's like an hour at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at movies where they do like special effects makeup and that stuff takes hours. Like, Colin Farrell in the Penguin. I mean, I think when he was in the Batman, that process was like 5 or 6 hours for the movie. They got it down to, I think, like 2 or 3 for the show.
I've been body painted multiple times, and the longest session was like 7 hours of body painting. So, and then I filmed a scene afterwards.
Wow. So with doing like the boy girl stuff, because you had already been swinging, I guess that like there weren't any potential like hesitations with going to that part?
No, not really.
Okay.
Swinging definitely made it easier because I knew what I was comfortable with and like what to ask for because I'd been talking to different partners for a while about it.
Yeah. So do you remember what your first like scene was? Like, did it have was there a scenario, or was it just kind of a, hey,
with Score or in general?
With Score.
Oh yeah, I do remember because when I practice lines sometimes, I do it in porn star voice, which is like, oh my gosh, can you help me? But obviously I don't talk like that when I do the actual recording. But I remember practicing the line like that, and then Carlos was like, you can't talk that way. And I was like, oh, I know. I won't do that, I promise.
You're like, that's a little too...
Yeah, too silly, I think. But it was, I can't find my Airbnb. Can you help me?
Oh.
Yeah, just finding a random stranger in the neighborhood to help me find my Airbnb and then inviting him in for sex as a thank you.
It'd be funny if you gave a realistic response. I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Where's that supposed to be? Do I look like the Airbnb guy?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No. Anyway, but obviously, yeah.
So that was definitely my first scene with them.
Okay. Have you done Gonzo scenes too, where it's just? I mean, outside of because have you shot with more professional companies than just Score?
I did a shoot with Brazzers.
Okay. Just one.
Yes, and I did several shoots with Heathering, which is a Texas-based company that does solo and girl content.
Okay.
And then I've worked with like smaller creators. Mm-hmm.